Peace, family, and welcome to African Diaspora News Channel. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm a proud contributor here on this amazing network. I do ask that you please like, that you share, that you subscribe to this network and this podcast. Thank you so much. Let's get right into it. Surely by now, some of you may have heard the breaking news that Joe Biden has finally picked his VP, and that is Kamala Harris. Now, family, Jim Crow Joe Biden, forgive me for not properly, calling him by his right name, Jim Crow Joe Biden, the man that is responsible, as one of the major masterminds behind one of the most influential pieces of legislation that's responsible for pushing us back onto the plantation. Jim Crow Joe Biden. It's interesting that he picked Kamala Harris in the first place. Now, mind you, Kamala Harris is the same one that when she was a prosecutor is responsible for also, like Jim Crow, what they have in common is they believe in the incarceration and in the warehousing and in the destruction of the Black family, because she was responsible for locking up a whole lot of Black men and women. Joe Biden picked, as it's been said on Black media, the most anti-Black woman VP he could think of. The most anti-Black woman that's out there. That's Kamala Harris. We know, and I don't know if you all remember this or not, but do you all remember some time back, she did an interview and she was specifically asked about reparations, and she skirted around the question. And when the lady confirmed, asked her again, what about, reparations, a specific economic program, in other words, for Black people? Do you all remember what she said? Do you all remember that clip? Listen.
Do you support reparations for Black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, Black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because whatever benefits that Black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country. Right?
Oh, did y'all hear that high pitch? That's a high pitch, a high octave. No. Wasn't the regular no. She don't talk like that to these other special interest organizations and groups that she believes in representing. But she decides to get sister girl. Remember, did y'all see her gestures when she moved that hair, she slung that head, and then she didn't just say no. It was a high octave. Soprano no. To Black reparations. Joe Biden likes to hang around and pick Black women that have a problem with Black men. Don't forget that Susan Rice was also on his list. Susan Rice, the one who told Snoop Dogg after Snoop Perhaps Snoop could have used different words to describe her, but his point about being angry and upset with Gayle King for inappropriately using the death of a black man, Kobe Bryant's legacy, a black man that's not here to speak for himself, to just mess all over him, and the man hadn't even been buried yet. When Snoop corrected Gayle King about that, remember Susan Rice came out. Remember Susan Rice was also on Joe Biden's list. Susan Rice came out and told Snoop, she used the F word. She told Snoop to back the F off, and told him that she was going to bring an army against him and that he will lose. Now, this is a woman that was a UN ambassador and a part of the National Security Council, which means she has literal bona fide connections to military officials and entities. She made this threat. This is who Joe Biden likes to hang with. Joe Biden also has as one of his senior advisors, Simone Sanders. Y'all know Simone Sanders, who lined back for him for a non-threatening protester, dairy protester. She came up there with all that energy and all of that body. She's all black to me. She's a beautiful woman. But I mean, you used all of that black body for Jim Crow Joe Biden. For a non-threatening dairy protester to violently snatch that lady off the stage because you was too worried that something was going to happen to Zaddy. And the problem I have with that is that when you have all of these different factions and people and entities out there falsely labeling black people, and particularly black men, as anti this and anti that and anti this and anti that, these same bootlicks are quiet as a church mouse. But you all are willing to jump out there on a limb and give Jim Crow Joe Biden the benefit of the doubt. That's something right there. That tells you how deeply flawed some of us are. So I just want to be clear. Joe Biden picked someone who he knew was safe. And more importantly, he's picking her because he's looking for a black face that's going to be a cover for him, an apologist for him. So when we demand reparations, he's going to throw her out there to cover for his reluctance. We're going to keep pressing. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep demanding. But I'm just letting you know he's bringing a black face out there to soften the blow, to put her out there, throw her out there to the wolves, to be an apologist for his anti-black benign neglect policies. But baby, it's a new day. Now, I don't know what these, little boule folk out there trying to do. Doctor this, pundit that, scholar that. They don't speak for the black grassroots. In this season, I've said this over and over again, in this season, power is coming from the ground up. They're taking our talking points. You've got presidential candidates contending with reparations and other issues because we made it an issue. So family, don't ever make them feel like that you're not making an impact. But don't forget, we're in this for the long haul. This is more than just about whether or not you individually think that we deserve reparations. If not, sign your check over to me and I'll do well with the funds. But more importantly, this isn't just about you. This is about your great grandmother and your great granddaddy who bore the whip and the noose, bore being raped and sodomized and set on fire and dismembered. We're wanting reparations for them. Forget you. Put you to the side. We don't count, black folks don't count success as 1 or 2 or 3 individual black people. The black way, the African way of seeing success is when success is had and received by the black masses. So long as the black masses are suffering, so long as the black masses are down and out, so long as the black masses are still oppressed, we don't claim success. That's a very Eurocentric way of seeing success is individually. We don't roll like that. Somebody talk black to me. So we're going to be giving Joe Biden and Kamala, also known as Kamala Harris, we're going to be giving them this work. Jim Crow Joe and Kamala Harris, we're going to be giving y'all some work in the upcoming days. Breaking news. My name is Vicki Dillard. Thank you so much for tuning into African Diaspora News Channel. Don't forget that I'm doing my weekly Wednesday night mastermind class, spiritual stuff. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I drop once a week one spiritual principle. I elaborate on it, talk about it, and then I answer your questions in a very exclusive VIP setting. Clubvicki.com. Right now, the entry to participate is $1 for the first month. Family, it's going to be amazing. It's going to change your life. The testimonies have just been amazing. You can also follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard, and you can check out my website where all my contact information, the way that you can assist and connect with me is under contact at MissVickiTV.com. Thank you so much. Love you. Mwah.